In today's Life and Career Corner, I have the opportunity to chat with Lori Perlstein, a corporate trainer and founder of Playworks. Thanks for joining us here today, Lori.
Hi, it's a pleasure.
Can you tell us how you bring the principles of improv into the corporate workplace?
Sure. So we'll start with some of the principles of improv. One of them is being in the moment, which is super important in any business relationship, really in any relationship. A lot of people are focused on before a speech. What if I don't do a good job? What if I forget what I'm going to say? What if people are talking in the middle of my speech? Or when they're going into a boardroom and, pitching something to colleagues. So I sort of start right there and explain to people that even just that simple principle is something that can really help people grow and gain confidence and have better working relationships. And that's sort of how, that's my philosophy in my life, which, I sort of take to the companies.
Yeah, exactly. So it's authentically you. Tell us about some of the areas you can help a corporation with when you bring in a workshop.
So one of the things I do is I train people in public speaking. And of course, being in the moment is super important for public speaking. I also do brainstorming sessions. It seems that, a lot of people in the business world are more, in the box type thinkers. And being a creative myself, it's kind of fun to be able to show them all the different ways that they can sort of really think outside the box and start seeing some concepts and ideas from a different point of view.
Yes. And what about training the trainer in sales? Do you also help with that component?
Yes. I mean, everything from working with people who sell cars to lawyers who are selling their services. A lot of that is one of the other principles of improv, which is about listening. You have to be a good listener in improv, in life, in sales, so you can really figure out what the customer wants. And I find a lot of times when I'm being sold something or someone is attempting to sell me something, they're not really listening to what I've told them that I want.
Listening is a very important skill. I wouldn't have thought of that for improv.
Yeah, if you don't know, it's like in the very simple conversations or scenes that you would do in an improv, you have to go with where the other person is going. And a lot of people are in their own head coming up with their own ideas and aren't as open to just following along. And again, that's another great tip for people in business.
Sure, exactly. How do you handle the shy person in the crowd? Some people would think it would be intimidating to do an improv workshop. How do you work with the introvert?
Yes, there are a lot of people who are intimidated by it. I think first and foremost, because in their mind, improv is supposed to be funny. So I'll start off by saying the reason why improv is funny, when you go and see a show and people are just coming up with these things on the fly, is because they are coming up with them on the fly. And they haven't prepared, and you see that moment where it just kind of happens and explodes. So what I would say to the shy people, first we talk about why they're shy, what their fears are, and really try and get to the bottom of it, because then they realize it's really not so scary. There are so many scarier things that they deal with on a daily basis, and that most of the fear is really in their head. And if they can just sort of get over the fear and try it, they're always like, okay, that wasn't so bad. That you don't have to be funny. You just have to be open to somebody else's ideas and just going with the flow.
That's great. You can work with all types. Now tell us how your career path, you trainer, actor, writer, casting director, how did you bring all your many hats together to now run this company?
Gosh, that's a really loaded question. I think the abridged version is, I sort of took all my skills and was really at the end of the day trying to find a way. I mean, it's really fun to be on TV. It's really fun to do stand-up comedy and all of those things. But I really wanted to do something that would make a difference in people's lives. And as much as all of the performing stuff really does, I sort of realized, it started with a friend who was like, I'm terrified. I have a presentation that I have to do in front of 1,000 people. What are some tips you can give me? And when I gave him those tips, he was like, that is amazing. And then somebody was running a business, and I had been working with this company as a consumer. And I sort of went up to the owner and I said, just so you know, some of your sales staff, I'm just telling you this, just because I think they could, use the feedback, that I wasn't really impressed with their selling skills. And again, I didn't have a business that I was trying to sell. But he said, I've thought about doing something with, and I said, I do improv. If you'd be willing to try something, a little out there, I think I could really help. And it just kind of snowballed from there. Like, I've just seen how improv really helps people in every aspect of their life,
Yep, be authentic and listen and learn to be spontaneous. And Lori Pearlstein, where can people find out about your improv workshops for corporations and all the work that you do?
I have a website, www.lp, my initials, playworks.com. So lpplayworks.com.
Well, keep inspiring, keep teaching improv, and keep.
Thank you so much,
Lori Pearlstein. Thank you very much for joining us in today's event.
Thank you. All right, take care.
You too.